Hey, church family. It's time for weekend review and just some awesome things about upcoming events that are happening with us as well. Um, let me go through the book of Daniel. It's been a great study, reminding us of what it means to live as aliens and strangers in this world. Daniel is a first-hand account of what it means to live in Babylon, to live in a foreign country, to live under the rule and reign of foreign kingdoms, and with the hope of our coming King and the coming kingdom. We live on this side of the cross and know that our King has conquered and he has come and he will return to bring those that are his home with him. And so it's just been great to be reminded of these things. We learned last year in First Peter that that's what we are as aliens and strangers in this world. And we just need to be continually mindful of what it means to live such good lives amongst the pagans that that we have an opportunity to proclaim Christ. And so yesterday we learned that there's this goat and this sheep or ram that rise up. They're kings, the representative kings and kingdoms that rise up, and it was an awesome picture for us because we get to look at it this side of history. Daniel didn't get a chance to see all of these things come actually into play. He got to see the rise of the Medo-Persians, but he never saw the rise of the Greek Empire. He never saw the rise of the Roman Empire, at least this side of eternity. And so, and we have all of that, and God has given it to us. And it's pretty amazing that as God illustrates this, I said this last week, but he knows and controls the future. And there is supernatural precision by which these events transpire in this world, in history. Yesterday, you were challenged in the message, and if you haven't seen yesterday's message, I encourage you to go back and watch it. But yesterday, you were challenged to go through the history and to see what kind of supernatural precision all of these things transpire. They were given to Daniel as a way of hope. Now remember, the book of Revelation and the book of Daniel, they are parallels. And so the book of Daniel was given, the visions of Daniel was given to Daniel so he would have hope and be motivated towards faithfulness while he was living in Babylon. John was given the revelation of the book of Revelations of future events so that the believers in Jesus Christ would be faithful while they waited for their coming King. And it's pretty amazing to read down through that. There are crazy pictures in the book of Revelation, things we don't understand, things we look at and go, what is that going to look like? Well, we're really not given a lot of details. We're not given dates. We're not given names. We're just given concepts and ideas, things that challenge us to be hopeful because in the end, our King conquers. Just like what was told to Daniel yesterday in Daniel chapter 8. It talks about this rise of this horn he will create destruction and devastation. He'll prosper. He'll make deceit under his hand. It actually says he'll make deceit prosper under his hand, which means that lies and deception will be the norms, and his own mind shall become great. And without warning, he shall destroy many, and he shall even rise up against the Prince of Princes. And we know that to be Jesus Christ, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. But it does tell us this in that promise that he, the horn, shall be broken, but by no human hand. Because that Prince of Princes is not all man. And that Prince of Princes is Jesus Christ, the Son of God, the Son of Man, our King. And he will conquer, no matter when we won't know exactly when all that's going to transpire, but it is going to happen. And it gives us great hope that if we serve the King of Kings and we follow him with our lives, then we will be on his side. And if God is for us, who could be against us? It tells us in Romans chapter 8. So yesterday we learned that God rules. God rules our future. God rules over our present. In our current circumstances, God is still in control. God is still working out his plan for all mankind, for all eternity. And so in that, we're reminded in 2 Peter, where a discussion about the future events happens, since all these things are thus to be dissolved, and what sort of people ought you to be in lives of holiness and godliness? really, I mean, that was the challenge. Now that you know that the future is in God's hands and how some of it's going to transpire, that the evil will be conquered and good will win, you ought to live with lives of holiness and godliness. I need to live with lives of holiness and godliness. And so we just really encourage you as we know the days are coming. And even today, we might be thinking the days are coming very quickly. And I think we would be okay to say that. In fact, every day that we wake up is another day quicker to the end of time. And so, as we live out those days, let's live with lives of holiness and godliness. Let's be in God's Word, understanding what that means. Let's spend time in the Sermon on the Mount. Let's spend time in the book of Proverbs. Let's allow the principles of God's Word to dictate and to impress upon our hearts on how we should live every single day. Yesterday, I got a great opportunity to be able to meet with these men. These are guys from Ecuador. I know you've heard me talk about Renacer quite a bit, but I just wanted to share with you a cool thing that's going on. In that picture, from the left-hand corner all the way around, starts with Pastor Darwin. Then you have Cam Wolford, our missionary. There you have Edgar, and then you have Pastor Amable down in the lower right-hand corner, and then we have Stalin. And these are men that are affiliated with Renacer. Edgar and Stalin are going to be going to become interns with the ministry. And we've been a part of helping them to work that out and get prepared for that. And they'll be training for ministry. This is super cool because, Renacer is not a huge church, but they have a vision for raising up men and sending them out into ministry. And as they're doing that, they're sending them to Amable. Edgar's going to go work with Amable as a church planter out in the tribal regions of Ecuador. And so yesterday we just were talking about the opportunities before them and how that was all going to work. And so I just ask that you would be praying for Renacer. They can't meet. The government's not allowing them to meet on the Sundays. And so Pastor Darwin is being as creative as possible. It looks like they're probably going to turn their church building into a community center to provide opportunities to engage with their community and to serve their community. And so we're just really excited about the things that are happening in Renacer and even really challenged and inspired by them as well. This coming Sunday, we are planning to do a parking lot church service. It's going to be at 10:30 a.m. I encourage you to come early, bring a lawn chair. We're going to be under the big overhang by the fellowship hall. It's going to be a great day. We're going to have different kinds of ways of connecting with each other that day. And we just hope that you'll come out and join us. Once again, this Sunday, August 9th, 10:30 a.m. Bring a lawn chair. Come and let's connect together. We need each other, and it's important for us to gather. And so we want to make as many opportunities as we can to make that possible for wherever you are in this space. Men's group will meet on Tuesdays at 6:30 a.m. Prayer meeting still meeting at 7:30 on Thursdays. You could still worship through giving different ways. On our website, you can find out more information, or you can just mail that in. That's important. Or just come on Sunday, and we'll have an opportunity for you to drop that off. Otherwise, I hope you have a great week, and we hope to see you soon.